Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to A Gathering Place. And this third Sunday, we always talk politics, and we're looking forward to talking those politics right after. Well, what are we going to talk about? Midterms, Berkeley County School District, what's going on down there is not just happening in Berkeley, but around the state and around the nation, and what's happening in South Carolina. Join me, folks, right after this opening.
Hello, I'm Marilyn Hemingway, and welcome to A Gathering Place. I said, I'm stepping back because we have young voices who want to be heard, and they're moving on something.
Branding is really important to you and your business.
Even a basic type of technology, you learn it all.
And people are
Good question. Well, folks, looks like you're just going to have me today. We've had Brandon and Jamarr have some things came up today, but one of the things is they've got to get some rest. Both of them were very involved in the most recent midterm elections. They're out having some downtime, relaxation, and rest. And hopefully Jamarr might be able to pop in. I know Brandon's not going to be able to, but nevertheless, I just want to spend maybe 10, 15 minutes with you because we can't let some recent things happening go by. And if you see my cat's trying to join us, if you see one of my cats in the background there off of my right shoulder there, well, my left shoulder, I think it's right to you. Hey, that's my cat, Almond Joy. And we enjoy having our cats join us. All right, folks. But if you have any comments about the most recent midterm elections, what's happening in the Berkeley County School District, just shoot it in our comment section and let's have a little discussion about it. And if you're lucky, I might even invite you on camera. So my name is Marilyn Hemingway. Usually on third Sunday, I have my two co-hosts, Jamarr Brown and Brandon Upson. And but unfortunately, they let me know in the last hour so that they couldn't make it, but they're doing good stuff, y'all. Good stuff. Anyway, let's talk about the midterms election. The red wave did not happen. The red wave did not happen, but there were some red flags for the Democratic Party, so the Democratic Party needs to sit up and pay attention. The red wave didn't happen because of Roe versus Wade. Yeah, and inflation, people, I think, took this time to understand that inflation is corporate gouging. That's what's happening. And if you need a little bit more proof of that, if not the day after, within a couple of days, inflation started easing. Why? Because corporations started lowering prices. If that's not evidence, I don't know what you mean by that. So you have to understand corporations, after Citizens United passed and was basically recognizing corporations as humans, they have an invested interest in government, how it works, always have. But they are really putting money into politics. This year, over $811 million was spent in the midterm elections. Prior to Citizens United, the most of any midterm or general election, $32 million. You see the difference, folks? They're buying our elected officials. And honestly, that has to stop. But one way to get it to stop is you got to come out and vote every single election, up and down the ticket, local, state, and federal, to help to make that stop. Get people in who will not take corporate money, who will not be corrupted by corporate money, or even PAC money, because not every PAC is a good PAC. All right. They all have their agenda. So we had Roe versus Wade. There will be continuing pushback on that until Roe versus Wade, the right to an abortion, is codified into law. And we need that to happen, folks, because an abortion is a healthcare issue. It's an economic issue, and it's a privacy issue. Quite frankly, it's just none of our business what a woman does with her body. What I do with my body is my business. All right. So if you have any thoughts, comments about the midterm elections, drop them into the comment section. Any questions? Looking forward to having a discussion with everyone. And next month in December, Jamarr Brown and Brandon Upson will be joining us. And we've already talked about doing it live. We try to do that. Jamar's living in Texas, but he comes home the holiday time, around the holidays, to visit family. Obviously, with Galagichi from the little country, you got to come home and stay with your family during the holidays. So during that time, we're going to probably go live, and of course, you'll hear about it. And we want to have a live studio audience. So wherever we decide to have our live show in December, please come on out and hang out with us and get on camera, ask questions, and have a discussion with us about politics. Something else that is happening on a local level, school boards being overtaken by radical right. In particular, there's a group out there, Mothers for Liberty. I don't know whose liberty they're talking about, but it's not everybody else's liberty. Maybe liberty for suburban, white, conservative women, but they certainly don't like liberty for everybody else. Recently, at Berkeley County, South Carolina, they have a majority conservatives who've taken over the school board. Hey, you were democratically elected. That's what they say. But we got some points to argue against that also, folks. And immediately their first night, they fired a popular superintendent. And it's not about him being popular. It's about him being respected. He's only been in it a little over a year. Certainly he hasn't made any enemies or anything, I believe, in that time. It seems that he's very well respected in that position. They fired him, and no one knows why, other than we could speculate. They obviously have an agenda. They banned CRT, critical race theory, in the school district. Well, guess what, folks? CRT was not in the school district. CRT is a law and graduate school level course that's been around for 30 years, but it's been made the boogeyman by conservative pundits, conservative political operatives who saw it as an opportunity to jerry up emotions. And it's always interesting that these emotions they like to stir are embedded in hate and bigotry. Think about that, folks. And so so we got to understand this, folks. Some definitions here. There's intelligence, there's being smart, there's being bright, and there's being clever. So they all are connected to each other. We can all be intelligent and bright, smart, and clever. But the difference between clever and, say, being intelligent is there's always an edge to being clever. You could be slick. You could kind of wink with your intelligence, of what you perceive to be intelligent. And why do I bring this up? Because I've noticed online after what happened this week in Berkeley County School District is that, people are saying, but they were duly elected. They were elected. That is true. But does it make it right? And are they operating as democracy? Folks, in his own words, a minister in Berkeley County said that he was given 6 members, those 6 conservative members who were supported by Mothers for Liberty Religious Council. They were meeting and discussing school board business. They have 9 members of the school board. If 6 are meeting, they have a quorum. Actually, well above a quorum. What does that mean? That means that's a legal meeting. It is against the law to have a meeting of any body, city council, county council, school board, legislature, without notice to the public. And I think at least 24 hours notice you have to give to have a meeting of an elected body. If they have been meeting, as the clever minister said, I think he was so smart and clever, he outsmarted himself saying this publicly at the meeting. They've been breaking the law. They've been breaking the law. Elected bodies cannot meet as a quorum. If you come together as a quorum and you discuss the business of that elected body, you are breaking the law. That means they need to be investigated. That's the difference between being clever and being intelligent. Clever tends to think I'm smarter than everybody else. I'm slick and I'm getting away with something. Intelligence understands that my decision making impacts others. So I better make sure that my decision making is based in facts and not opinions. You understand where I'm coming from, folks? You get where I'm coming from? So this is what's happened in Berkeley County and then on social media. Very clever people are saying, well, they're duly elected. They're democratically elected. Yes, they are. But they operating as if they are democratically elected? And I say not. So in Berkeley County, the way they've operated, it was clear the way they operated this week by firing one superintendent and hiring another one immediately without, once again, they're also breaking the law because you just can't hire somebody. There's a whole process. You've got to give public notice that this position needs to be filled. There are certain things that you have to meet to make sure you have diversity in the process. This could not have been done if you firing one and 5 minutes later hiring another one. And let me tell you what's the cleverness of it. Remember the difference between clever and intelligence. They hired another black male. Because, see, they're thinking, well, you can't accuse us of lack of diversity. See, we hired a black. But if you understand white supremacy, people who look like me, people who are brown or black, can also uphold white supremacy intentionally or unintentionally. So if you're going to play the game, be honest about it. You know, we all play in this game called life. But they're not being honest, folks. They're being clever to get away with an agenda that is not going to benefit the children of Berkeley County, that's not going to benefit the community of Berkeley County, that's not going to benefit the state of South Carolina nor this nation. And this is happening all across this nation, which is why it is so important that we get informed with facts. We understand how government works, the process, the political process, the actual infrastructure of how elections run and how elected bodies operate. They are just not elected and you go willy-nilly, whatever you want to do. There are rules. There are rules and processes that must be followed. The law must be followed. Berkeley County is just the beginning. I hope there are folks in Berkeley County who are concerned about the school district, who are concerned about parents and the children, and who understand that many laws were probably broken. Even nationally known lawyer Ben Crump posted about Berkeley County, South Carolina. If he is posting about it, he is very well aware that laws were broken. Somebody needs to sue. Some entity, organization needs to sue the Berkeley County School District, the Berkeley County School District Board, and get to the bottom of what's happening in Berkeley County. This is why it's so important that we vote and that we are engaged with our school boards, city, and county council. Because we have to stay on top of what's going on in this nation, because democracy is not static. It is not guaranteed. Democracy is citizen engagement. Democracy is an action. And that means we must stay engaged to keep it here. We cannot take it for granted because democracy is a contract, a social contract between you and I and those that we elect to represent us, that we will uphold this Constitution of the United States and of the states. That's why it's so important that when we come on every 30 Sunday and we talk, that we're just talking and educating folks about the little bit that we know about politics and the little bit that we know about government. We, folks, as a country, are facing bad actors. And I'm just calling it. Mothers for Liberty is not for you and I. Mothers for Liberty is truly not for freedom. Mothers for Liberty is not for the Constitution. They are for authoritarianism. They are for apartheid. And they will do everything they can to put that in place. Berkeley County, we're looking at you. It's not just Berkeley. We're looking at Lexington. We're looking at Georgetown, where I live, looking at Charleston. Get out, vote, go, get engaged, attend as many school board meetings, city, county council, state legislature. And if you cannot be there, send someone to these meetings who will come back and share the information. That's important too. You could go to the meetings, but you got to go back to your neighborhoods and your communities and share the information so that people understand what's going on. This is what we do every third Sunday, just talking about different subjects and topics within politics within the Constitution and which way the government works. I wanted to talk about that really has been on my mind with Berkeley County School District, but I also want to talk about the fact that the South Carolina Democratic Party, y'all in a world of hurt, and it needs to be cleaned house at the South Carolina Democratic Party. If you are not aware of it, the Republicans in South Carolina now have a supermajority. They don't have a need to negotiate. All right, there's no need to negotiate. They have a supermajority. But what does that mean? It means that we need to get out, run for office, and elect people for office. Don't leave any office unopposed. What it means that there are going to be laws passed that we really need to pay attention to. We need to be aware of and get educated about. And hopefully there's some moderates within the Republican Party that will take a step back and put some brakes on some of the stuff. All statewide offices are now Republican. It's very concerning because especially that education office, which quite frankly, why would you elect somebody who's a role model for your children, who has lied about the master's degree that she, I can't even say that she received it, because I think that's December when she's going to finally get it. But the entire process was bastardized so that she could get a fraudulent master's degree. And I, for one, am one of those persons who contacted the Southern Association for Accreditation. I did not say that name right, but there's an association that I contacted way back in the spring when this first controversy first bubbled up, and also recently when she announced that she had received her master's, so that an investigation could happen regarding Bob Jones University. Republicans like to pass laws that they don't want to live by. Everybody else has to live by those laws, but the Republicans will conveniently ignore the law or bend it so that they can get their way, because it's about greed and power, folks. That's what it's about. And you have to push back against greed and power that impacts all of our lives. And it can be done, folks. It's been done time and time again in history, and it will continue to be pushed back and changed so that this country can continue to respect this U.S. Constitution that has been amended. That's why it's an organic constitution, because you can amend it. Our founding fathers actually put into place through our Constitution the ability to amend it so that it stays current with the times and it becomes forward thinking. Don't let anybody fool you about originality, because the founding fathers put into the structure of the United States Constitution the ability to add amendments. It's not a static document. It is a living, organic document that can be amended based on changes in the country. We don't even look like the same country that was in the 1800s when our U.S. Constitution was signed, folks. This is why we have to stay involved, because the government is by the people, of the people, and for the people. That's why we have to stay involved and understand politics. Don't vote, ignore it. It still impacts you. So go vote. Get engaged. And as I said, if you can't show up, if you can't be there, send somebody else who can come back and share the word with you and help you become an informed voter, an informed, engaged citizen in these United States of America. So Republicans not only control supermajority in the state legislature, they control the governor's seat and other statewide offices, and they are actively working with Mothers of Liberty to take control of school boards, where now they're banning books, firing superintendents who may not agree with them, but we don't know if they don't agree with them or not, because they fire them without cause, without reason. And Berkeley County folks, y'all need to know that. Demand it. Demand that you know why they fired the superintendent. That's your right. And don't let somebody use good manners and civility to shut you down. The current board chair of the school district in Berkeley County telling people to calm down, and this is not how we act. The fact that they acted the way they acted behind closed doors and came back and fired that superintendent, do not let him distract you and deflect you. They're the problem. You are not a problem when you exercise your freedom of speech. You, once again, let's say this. You are not the problem if you exercise your freedom of speech. All right, folks, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted that civility does not replace your constitutional rights. Don't let civility, if it blocks your freedoms, it blocks your civil rights, then you need to push civility aside. Because let me tell you, slavery was legal. Slavery was legal. If people did not stand up for their rights, and I mean it, the enslaved stood up, folks. Don't get it twisted. If people did not stand up for their rights, if they did not hide and go to learn to read and write, which was illegal, so that they could understand the Constitution, so they could fight for their freedoms, they broke the law to have justice. They broke the law to have justice. So don't let somebody tell you we're gonna have good manners here, or we can't shout because that's just unseemly when they're blocking your rights. We've got to get engaged, folks. We got to bring the fight to the folks. Wanted to just take a few minutes with you, just to share with you. Thank you for joining me today. I don't have any questions or comments. Brandon, Upson, and Jamarr Brown will join me live in December for the third Sunday. I hope it's the third Sunday. We're going to do it live. We're trying to figure out all our holiday schedules and everything, but we do plan on doing it live. We hope that you will all join us, and we'll get an update on Texas and Beto's race. South Carolina, we're going to talk further about South Carolina. Big changes need to happen in South Carolina, because if the Democratic Party is not strong, we can't push back against the Republicans. It's not one party rule, folks. We need a balanced two-party system. And I have some thoughts about that too, about our two-party system, but we'll wait for December to hear that. I want to thank everybody for joining me today at Third Sunday Politics Talks. Brandon and Jamarr, enjoy your time off, get some rest, relaxation, spend, and enjoy that family time. And thank you everyone for joining us on Third Sunday Politics Talks on A Gathering Place. We'll see you Wednesday and Sundays at 4 o'clock. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening. Oh, you know what I forgot? Happy Thanksgiving! Happy Thanksgiving, folks. I'm going to be at Arnie's as usual in the morning on Thanksgiving, volunteering for our big community dinner. So please get back to your neighbors. Think of your neighbors. And if you can volunteer, I'm grateful and full of gratitude for all that has happened this year, the good and the bad, because of the lessons learned and the growth that we have seen happen here at the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce. And that reminds me, December 8th at 6:30 p.m., mark your calendars, because we're going to unveil the Gullah Geechee Seafood Trail logo. And love the logo, folks. I think you guys should look forward to it. It's just a beautiful logo. So we hope you join us December 8th at 6:30 p.m. Thank you, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. And we'll see you Wednesday and Sunday. Thank you.